Hey guys, Ash here, Race Shot Legends. Welcome to the video. Send us some love, some positive vibes your way, especially if you need them out there today. So today, guys, I put out a few videos on Event Dungeon teams. I think this Event Dungeon is by far the most challenging out there. It's very restrictive in the type of strategies that we can employ. Of course, there are teams like this. Shout out to Bronco. Boozer shared a very good team today with Estrid, with Gerptuck. There's this team with Seer and Geomancer, as well as Vogoth. But any of these, even the ones with epics, they're fairly gear intensive. They're very challenging, in my opinion, right? This is a very tricky dungeon. We're seeing the speed runs, which I'll show you today. The reason I'm making this video and the reason I'm putting it here instead of my main channel is this is a hard team, very challenging for anybody to even pull off. But I get a ton of comments asking, Ash, why aren't you sharing your Event Dungeon team on both channels? So I figured I'd share it, talk a little bit about the Event Dungeon, the emerging strategies, and kind of go from there. Now, the speed runs really involve these surplus damage champions, right? Rage of Nephilim, ignores defense, targets one enemy, surplus damage if the initial target is killed. So we utilize champions like Mountain King or Herndig, or there's a billion of them, to kind of soften up the target, right? Baron is another one with surplus damage on his trample ability. Then we have the surplus damage champions come in and get the kill, right? So I actually shared this Sun Wukong team a few days ago on my main channel. And again, a lot of the comments kind of negative, but I thought it was cool. And this is when the team just kind of emerged, right? The Staff of Wonder one-shot. Really, really insane stuff. But it all comes down to getting these surplus damage setups. Again, Sun Wukong is a beautiful example with the Staff of Wonder ability. And then softening the target, stacking up as much 9-piece protection and 9-piece feral damage, or passive damage vis-a-vis a feral, the Barkhorn, passive damage vis-a-vis a Battle Khazar, or an Ashnar, or a Gerptuck, right? Using these sort of passives with gear sets to maximize our damage. So that's what I'm going to show you guys today. I will link a video by Bronco and a video by Boozer highlighting some free-to-play teams, even though I still think they're tricky to pull off, in the description of this video as well. Now, it's a shame because the Event Dungeon is so important to farm, but I will say this. Keep in mind, stage all the way at 13, right? Even if you're a progressive player, a kind of a newer player to the game, stage 13, I thought it was very realistic and reasonable to get to stage 13 and be able to farm that. That's where you can get 6-star pinpoint gear, which will be very helpful for your account, especially if you're at that level of the game. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments. If you just take a moment, even if you're not one to typically comment on videos, what stage are you currently at right now? What stage are you farming? What stage are you struggling at? I actually saw a few comments from people saying, dude, I just gave up on this stupid Event Dungeon because it's frustrating. I understand that, right? The other threshold is, of course, stage 20. Because stage 20, you're only going to get 5-star or 6-star, meaning no 4-stars, which is really important too. That's the other threshold that I would farm at. And, you know, it really sucks that these gear dungeons have all these crappy-ass sets in them, but you can still get your pinpoint, right? So I would hold off on any other dungeon farming while the Event Dungeon is taking place, especially Spider, and just focus on the Event Dungeon. So 30, if we look at the boss guide and the teams of the week, again, these teams are ridiculous. It's the same thing we spoke about. Feral, Battle Khazar, seeing some Calvalax and Feral gear as well. A lot of Siegfrunds, a lot of Sun Wukongs. That's stage 30 meta. Aside from those epic teams, there's the Aox team, there's the Seer and Geo combo teams. Again, I'll have the links to those videos for you guys. So this is my squad. Let's watch it, and then I'll tell you about it a little bit. And I'll tell you some mistakes I made along the way as well, because these are tricky teams to pull off, man. Even if you have the champions, they're tricky to pull off, right? So, oh, man, so I'm using, as you can see, what was this? What was it? Okay, it's crap. I'm using Lydia, I'm using Shuzen, I'm using Foley, Battle Khazar, and Siegfrund. Now, I tried to copy some teams using Hell Hades Artifact Optimizer, and I think it's the best tool in Raid Shadow Legends personally. Huge fan, I use it every day. That being said, I do find that copying dungeon teams, provided you have all the champions, I find that to be, maybe I'm just using it wrong, frankly, I probably am, but I find it to be difficult. So I ended up like basically making my own team, right? Now, obviously, Battle Khazar, Siegfrund, Shuzen, and Lydia are in a lot of these teams, so I'm not saying I'm like, a soothsayer in terms of raid strategy here. But instead of using Herndeg, I used Foley. Why? Because I have him at 6-star Awakened, and Crushing Rend was the first mistake that I made. I didn't have Siegfried and Crushing Rend. I had him in 6-star Polymorph for the arena. But Crushing Rend, I mean, these mobs, now my game crashes. I don't know what the heck it is, but my game has been crashing. Say hello to my beautiful sunset in my desktop. My game has been crashing randomly when I record. Okay, guys, sorry about that. But as I was saying, level 350, Crushing Rend makes a huge, huge difference. Team setup really quickly. I will show it to you. Not that it really matters. I mean, all these teams, your team's going to be different than my team. I feel like there's room for flexibility on some of these champions, just not a ton of it, right? You need to have the damage dealer for these speed teams, the surplus damage dealer, that is. So again, Rage of Nephilim is going to open up with Battle Khazar, obviously just going to use the Malice. Sealed Fate is going to be the opener for Foley. Shuzen's going to Purging Petals, and Lydia, obviously, just going to be on the A2, which she'll automatically do anyway. All right, guys, so real quick on the builds. Siegfried, I already mentioned, I have Crushing Rend on him. I have a Cat's Gaze on him as well. I have Merciless Gear. I have attack percentage on the boots, as well as we can see the total stats right there. Very low on the crit damage compared to some of these teams, but still just a boss mode champion, obviously. I still kept his arena masteries on him. I will say that Ruthless Ambush, the first hit 8% extra damage, is going to be really important on your damage dealers, right? We have Savage on Foley. I kept him pretty much the same as well. I added a speed set, so he was faster than Siegfried. I have a 9-piece protection on my Lydia. I have a 9-piece protection on my Bad El Khazar. And I have a 9-piece protection on my Shuzen the Valorous. There it is, guys. You asked for it. Don't kill the messenger. That is my disturbingly pay-to-win Event 30 dungeon team. I'm going to leave it there, guys. But again, please, let me know where you are, and let me know your overall thoughts on this dungeon. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys are having less of a difficult time than I anticipated, but I think this one it's a doozy. It's a tough one out there. So anyway, guys, going to leave it there. Thanks for watching till the end of the video. Much love, and as always, take care, guys.